Hello everyone.
Hey everybody.
It's time for a new thing for our channel. This is our 2020 no rules, just lists. It's our list of things that we liked about 2020. Some things we didn't like. Number one thing we didn't like, COVID-19. Fuck you.
Truth.
I didn't write that down, but I thought I'd say it right here at the top. Fuck that virus. So we did this on the Pixel podcast last year, and I thought I had a lot of fun with it, so I want to do it again on our channel. Maybe make it a bit more elaborate. So what do you think, Cathy Brown? You ready to get into it?
I'm ready to get into the list.
All right, here we go. Okay, so I got a top 3 list here of the new YouTube channels I've been watching here in the past year, and oddly enough, they all have to do with food. It's really weird. So starting at number 3. This one started right at the start of the pandemic. It was a running on empty food review. The guy with his finger. And he just eats a bunch of fast food and talks about if it's good or bad. And
he wears a suit and his hair's slicked back.
yes, he's a funny little man. But he eats like chicken sandwiches and shit and talks about how good they are. And I was on a real kick on it at the start of the pandemic. I haven't really watched any lately, which is sad. But
I didn't love it because he apparently doesn't like Taco Bell, and so I've got a grudge. I obviously can't trust anything that he says. So
he talks a lot of shit about Taco Bell, or at least in the videos I've seen. Number 2, how to barbecue right. It's a big old round man who's taught me a lot about grilling this year. He's got like 10 grills at his house, and he's grilling different shit. And I've made a lot of his recipes that he has put out this year, and it's been awesome. So that's cool. And number 1, and this one's one I just started watching in like December. That was Beard Meets Food.
And I love Beard Meets Food.
I imagine his is probably the most popular. I don't know. I guess the food review guys got a lot of subscribers too, but this guy's got like well over 1 million, and yeah, he eats food really fast, and he not only eats it fast, but it's a lot of food.
And he does different challenges. They're kind of different themes, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, Cathy hated it when I first pulled it up, but now she like follows his wife on Instagram.
I was like pretty grossed out by the thought of it at first, but then I guess I got acclimated, and now I love it.
Yes.
I'm gonna do my favorite things bought on Amazon. I'm gonna start with my least favorite and work my way up to my favorite. And I got this sweet coffee table for the living room, and the top lifts up, and it's perfect for eating dinner. Has some storage on the inside. We use it often because we don't ever eat in the kitchen or the dining room. We eat in the living room, and we're usually watching The Simpsons.
I ate a tiny pizza on it today.
Also got a 100-foot expandable garden hose. First got it for the backyard. Loved it so much that I bought a second one for the front yard. Best hose I've ever seen. I got some new underwear that I really like. Maybe a little weird, but
yeah,
they're boy short underwear, and they're very comfortable, and they're kind of the best. Got them on Amazon. And my favorite thing that I got recently, and I'm still obsessed with Boo Mochis, or Mochis this year. And this Boo Mochi is the best thing that has ever happened to me. So white, so round, love the little tail. And I learned recently that the Boo was created from somebody's nagging wife that was actually kind of shy. I didn't like him coming home late.
She's talking about the creation of Boo and Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah.
That's where that came from.
And,
that's where that inspiration came from for that character.
Yes. So I love my Boo.
So this next category I named my thing as Matches of the Year. It's supposed to be Match of the Year, but I spelled it wrong last year on the Google Docs, so I decided that that's what's going to be called now. It's Matches of the Year. Starting at number 5 is going to be Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy from Clash of Champions 2020. Had the most creative use of handcuffs in a match I've ever seen. It was a ladder match for the Intercontinental title, I believe.
AJ now with the golden opportunity. Can Styles make the climb?
Number 4 is going to be Ilya Dragunov, if I'm pronouncing that right, versus Walter on NXT UK October 29th, 2020 edition. NXT UK was kind of hit pretty hard with the the COVID stuff going on, they didn't run shows for probably like 6 months. But they came back with a banger in that match. They just beat the shit out of each other. They were both very bruised at the end. It was pretty nuts.
Even though Walter...
Right, number 3 is going to be Kenny Omega versus Pac, the Iron Man match on AEW Dynamite, February 22nd, 2020. Just a few weeks before everything went on lockdown. They still had a crowd. It was a 30-minute long Iron Man match. It was pretty fucking awesome. Anytime you get Kenny Omega and Pac in the ring, it's going to be a good time.
Ripcord face trigger!
Number 2 is Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor, NXT TakeOver 31. This is another match where they beat the shit out of each other, but in a bad way because they both got really hurt at the end. Finn Balor broke his jaw, I believe, and Kyle O'Reilly lost a lot of teeth. It was a spectacle to see. It was fun, nail biter. I thought Kyle O'Reilly had it, but just didn't get it in the end. They had a rematch on television. I haven't seen it yet.
Kick to the midsection, followed by a kick to the knee, stop to the back, forward.
And number 1, and this is a hard pick for number 1 because we did not watch this match live, or I didn't. That's where a lot of my excitement for wrestling comes from, is watching it live. It is Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus the Young Bucks at AEW Revolution 2020. We were lucky enough that our compatriots on the Pixel Puff podcast, they watched the pay-per-view, but we weren't there to watch it. When we went over there at their house the next time, they let me watch the match, and it was really, really good. The best stuff. It was best stuff of the year right there.
Favorite pandemic hobbies 2020. We spent most of 2020 at home, quarantined in our house, and on the weekends and on the evenings if we weren't at work. And so I have a whole list of hobbies that I enjoyed this past year. Probably my least favorite one, but still kind of been fixated on it, is paying off debts.
Oh, yeah.
Not spending extra money on events and traveling, so trying to knock down some student loan debt. So exciting. Then puzzles. I did that Super Metroid puzzle this past year, and I was convinced that the pandemic would be over if I finished that puzzle. That was not the case. It's been a long time since I finished that puzzle, and we are still amidst this pandemic.
Still in lockdown.
Learned how to build a fire this past year. Really impressed with myself.
Caveman shit going on.
I've always relied on others to build fires for me and maintain the fire, but a couple of times I have successfully built and maintained my own fire. And outside in our backyard, little fire pit back there. Then, of course, video games, right? Love video games. That's what our whole channel is based on. I like playing video games, and I'll get into more of what I've actually played this year later.
Oh, yeah.
This year, I have gotten into indoor plants, like a lot. So I have filled an entire room in our house with plants, and it is...
It's one of the few rooms in the house right here without a plant in it.
It's true, one of the few. And it is starting to get into other rooms of the house, so who knows where this will take me. But anybody that knows me knows that I used to hate plants. I couldn't keep them alive. Definitely did not have a green thumb. But, something changed this year. I like plants. Video game vinyls. We have been really into those this past year.
Is that a hobby?
I think it's a hobby, like listening to them. It's an activity.
Call
Thing
listening to
I'm
music a
interested-
hobby.
It is a hobby. I'm interested in it, and it's a very particular type.
Yes.
So,
You got a lot. Got more coming in the mail. I've pre-ordered like 2 more.
yeah, and I feel like did it start with the Stardew Valley set? Or did it start before that?
Yeah. I bought Stardew Valley and Cathy said I was stupid, and then it came in. She's like, "This is amazing." So,
And then we have launched a new collection, it looks like. Then, making my house a home has been my hobby. We just moved into this house in 2019, so the pandemic, I immediately jumped into house projects. I learned how to replace 2 ceiling fans, a light fixture, and Andy got me a sewing machine, a little cheap sewing machine for Christmas, a little mini one, and I have most recently been making curtain balances for rooms throughout the house. So, also buying things that we need to make our house more efficient. I've kind of been into that.
You gotta get a robot vacuum. What's next?
And my number one pandemic hobby was painting dogs. I've really been into painting dogs. I should have counted how many I've painted, but I've painted a lot of dogs, and that's kind of how I've been paying off our student debt. So I pretty much picked up a part-time job, but my background is as an artist and a painter, so I've been excited to kind of get back in the studio and exercise that part of my brain.
Best new recipes that I've made this year, or I've tried to make this year. This is in no particular order because I think they're all pretty good. I randomly bought some vegetable noodles for some spaghetti a couple months ago.
I should have included this on my hobby list, eating Andy's food. Should have been up there.
The veggie noodles and the spaghetti, there's a particular brand, I can't remember what brand it was, but it's pretty much a game changer because a lot of noodles had no flavor. These had some flavor in them. I believe those they were made with like kale and spinach and stuff like that, so it's better for you. And it was a significantly better spaghetti. But I did buy another brand and tried them in a different type of spaghetti I was making, some crock pot spaghetti, and it was pretty terrible. So I'm thinking it might be the brand that I bought the first couple of times. But yeah, that was that's pretty game changing. I should have bought some for that Parmesan chicken I made the other night, but I didn't think about it.
Yeah, you should have.
So we got Swedish meatballs. Made those a couple of times now. Just a nice hearty dish.
I've been on a meatball kick too.
Yeah,
for
making
like
a lot of meatball stuff.
past year. Anything meatball, delicious.
And the Swedish meatballs, beautiful. Smoked honey turkey breasts. So that's a recipe I picked up from the How to Barbecue Right guy. Smoked turkey breasts on the grill. Nice little honey glaze over them. Mix some honey and some brown sugar and some applesauce together and glaze it over it as the turkey's cooking. It's fucking delicious. Like I can eat that shit all day.
And so moist.
Yes.
So juicy.
Yes.
Delicious.
Final one is chicken, sausage, potatoes, and peppers. It's just it's a recipe. It doesn't have a name, I guess. It's on a YouTube channel called Food Witches, which should be on my YouTube list that I watch, but I only watched like a few of his videos. But I intend to watch more because it seems like a really competent dude. But yeah, it's just what it is. It's actually got onions in it too, but it's just a roast in the oven of all those things combined, and it's fucking really good. The sausage, all the sausage fat gets over the chicken. It's,
So I was telling you, I got into plants this past year, so I thought I would do a top 4 favorite plants. I got this cool zebra plant. Has some kind of big leaves with kind of zebra stripes on them, super fun. And there's a plant that kind of looks like Swiss cheese. I call it the Swiss cheese plant, but it has these leaves with like holes in them. And mine is kind of viney. It has like this one really long strand. I like watching it grow. I have 3 of these, the golden pothos. It's a beautiful plant and very easy to maintain. Always looks on point. It always looks fabulous. So that's one of my favorites. And my favorite plant is the one that Andy got me for our anniversary, I think. And it's the dragon tree.
dragon tree.
It's so cool. It's like got these little branches, and then it's kind of
It's like a mini palm
fluffy
tree.
at the top. So, and it always looks fabulous.
So this is a fun category with only 2 things in it because they struck me as cool. But it's the most unexpected best music of 2020. So it was when I was not even thinking that a game would have good music, and I was kind of blown away. And the two ones are Bugsnax, which probably should have known that it was going to have good music because they had that cool song that came out during the trailer when the game was first revealed. I mean, that song was right there with it from day one. But the rest of the music in the game is actually really good. There's one of my favorite tracks is when you go up to the mountains. You actually you find someone who you've been looking for a while, and you're solving certain puzzles up there, and the music up there is really good. The second one on this list is the Final Fantasy VII Remake. So that's another one where I probably should have been I should have been expecting good music because I like the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack a lot, but I wasn't expecting the new tracks that they would make for the game that I would like so much as well. So there's a particular scene where you've gone up to meet Jesse's parents, or you're up topside in Midgard, and you have to parachute down, and there's like this wailing guitar solo. It's like something from an 80s movie in the background, and it's the coolest shit in the world. And like, I don't know why it works in Final Fantasy VII, but it does.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you coming all this way with me. And like I said before, I'd be grateful if you kept this between us until after the mission. I don't want to complicate things.
Sure. Okay, who's ready to fly?
Me.
I also have a list with just 2 items on it, so I'll do that list. And that is this year's best beers list. I enjoyed many favorites from last year's very long beer list, but I did add 2 new ones. And one is the Skeleton Walker's Pumpkin S'mores Imperial Porter by a local Casita Brewing Company that just opened. Also very cool, spooky art on the can too that I thought was
like
really
a kid
fun.
drew it.
A kid did draw it. It was actually
It looks like.
the brewer's daughter that drew
It
it.
looks like it's just skeleton and witches and bats and stuff like that.
It's awesome. My favorite is the Black Pelican Maple Porter by Crystal Coast Brewing.
Mm-hmm.
Andy and I stopped by a bottle shop we had never been to before, and it was just filled with all kinds of different beers that we'd never tried, and was feeling a little overwhelmed. But the guy that worked there, he pointed me in the direction of this beer, and it is just delicious.
It's really good.
It kind of has this like buttery taste to it, which is kind of weird to me, but you know what? It works and it's good.
So this next list is the most excited I've been for retro gaming finds in 2020. In 2020, obviously, we've said it about 1 billion times. The pandemic, we haven't been to a lot of shops. I mean, we probably went to more gaming shops while we were in Canada in February than we did the entire rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been to Trade It like 3 times since March. So that definitely sucks. But there was still good stuff, and they all come from different places. It's 4 games. So this is Valkyrie Profile 2, Silmeria, on the PlayStation 2. It's a game I picked up off eBay, and it was a good find, or a surprising find, an exciting find, because I didn't know that this game was so affordable. I thought the Valkyrie Profile on the PS1 is like stupid expensive if you want it in the case, but this one right here, you don't have a manual, but it's got the case and the game works. It was only like $20, so that's pretty cool, and it's one of like the most beautiful PS2 games you can buy. Just really, really good art. I've only messed around with it a little bit. I want to give it more of a chance. Now we got the PS2 HDMI cables that I still need to work some kinks out with. Maybe do some more with that. So this is Vice Project Doom. This game we got from Trade It. It was after the pandemic. It was the first time the pandemic started. But it was like 5 months in. I just broke down and wanted to go. But this was really exciting because not only the game is awesome, great NES action game, but had it marked down for way less than it goes for in most places.
Lucky.
Yeah, it was. I was digging through the NES games, and as soon as I saw the price on this, I was like, "Yes, give it to me." If it had been market price, I probably wouldn't have got it, but it was cheap. So next is a gift that your sister got us. Lunar, the Silver Star Story complete on the PS1. This is awesome. Like, this whole everything is awesome. It comes with a whole bunch of shit. You could check out our gaming hall to see everything it comes up with. But I was like blown away when this was presented to us. I was like, man, this is awesome. And number 1 is F-Zero GX on the GameCube.
That's number 1.
Yes, we were offered a big box of GameCube games that someone's children didn't want anymore. And we said, yes, we'll take it. And this was in there, and it worked, and this game is awesome. And it's also, I mean, finding it complete inbox for less than like $50 maybe. You're gonna be hard pressed to find it. Getting it for free, and it's awesome. That's why it makes it number 1.
Okay. Well, I think I will follow that with my favorite retro pickups from 2020. I've got Kirby Tilt and Tumble. There you go.
From the Game Boy Color. That's a Game Boy Color.
Yeah. And it's kind of hard, but a really enjoyable game. Plus, anything that's pink is kind of cool. So, I was very excited about that. Got that in Canada. And we got Rainbow Islands. It's got a really cute, colorful cover. It comes with the manual. And it's super fun because it's a vertical platformer, and you pretty much climb these rainbows that you create, and I just thought it was really cute. Also in Canada, I got a game that I'd kind of been looking for a long time. I just couldn't remember the name of it, but my brother did, and it's Super Baseball 2020. It's like baseball and robots. Super fun.
If I recall correctly, we were at a store in Canada, a gaming store, and you just happened to remember to ask your brother what the name of the game was, and they had it in that store. So it was like that whole process took about 5 minutes of finding out the name and getting the game.
That's right. But I'm very happy that it's a part of our collection now. This game was unexpectedly super fun for the Game Boy. Super Mario Land 2.
6 golden coins. I don't know why that's unexpected. Mario's awesome.
Well, I don't know. It was just better than I expected for whatever reason. And the last 2 games
should have come as no surprise.
Yeah, it really shouldn't. But 2 huge assets were added to our collection this year. I'm a big Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior fan, and for my birthday, Andy got me Dragon Warrior 3. And then followed up at Christmas and got me Dragon Warrior 4.
So we have all the Dragon Warrior games on the NES.
Yes, collection milestone.
Yes.
So.
And we only got like 4 or 5 more English release Dragon Warrior games or Dragon Quest games, and we'll have all of them. Alright, so it's my next to last list. This is more gaming stuff. It's what you're here for, right? So this is the most disappointing games I played in 2020. So this is the sad one. I don't have the props for this one because I didn't want to show them off.
It's sad, yeah.
No. So number 4 is Medieval on PS4. I picked up that game. The work that I do has me in a lot of different stores, including Walmart. So I was in a Walmart looking at clearance games, and that game was $5, and I remember playing it on the PS1. Never beat it, but I remember liking it on the PS1. I liked the little spooky aesthetic. I was like, oh, $5, I'll pick that up, shit. And around the time of Halloween, I popped it in and wanted to make it my little Halloween game, and man, that game sucks. The death penalty is ridiculous, and yeah, I think I got to like the 2nd or 3rd level. I was like, you know what? That's $5 that just stay on the shelf. That's fine. Number 3 is Ever Oasis. Cathy's
That hurt.
Cathy's not a.
It's one of my favorite games.
Yeah, something about it didn't work for me.
Like my top 10.
Something about it didn't work for me. There was I've talked about it in the Pixel Club podcast, but there was just a moment in the game where I was not making any progress because the way that you get your abilities in that game are they're from other villagers that come and stay in your little oasis, and if you don't have a villager that has a certain ability, you probably can't progress the story. So I just couldn't do anything, and the chaos or whatever, the darkness was taking over my oasis, and the bar was like that close to depleting. And I was like, I don't want to figure out what happens when this bar depletes. And I just stopped playing because I couldn't progress. I couldn't do anything, and that was rough. Was it number 3? Number 2 should not be on my most disappointing list, but it is. I knew exactly what this game was going to be, and that was Super Mario 3D All-Stars, but it still is a huge bummer, and it deserves to be called out for being a huge bummer. They should have had Super Mario Galaxy 2 in it. Bare minimum, should have been those 4 games. And they should have done something with Super Mario 64's graphics. They should have upgraded it somehow. I realized that this game came out in 2020, and they wanted to get it out for the 35th anniversary of Mario, and trying to do more stuff is complicated when you're on lockdown and you can't go to the office and stuff like that. I get that, but they could have put Super Mario Galaxy 2 in there. I mean, there's no reason why. No reason. And number 1 is The Last of Us Part 2. That game was a lot of fun to play, but the story was such a bummer that I don't even want to think about it too much, because it's just like a series of people making the worst decisions they could ever make, and it's just,
Well, it's at least memorable. We'll always remember it.
yeah. And I was hyped for that game up until the pandemic hit. Then I didn't really want to play a game that was about zombies and societal collapse and stuff like that.
Timing.
Didn't want to do that, but I put my big boy shoes on and I played through it. And like I said, I had a lot of fun playing it, but just the story of just like everyone in that game they're presented with 2 options to go left or right, and left is the good choice, right's the bad. They go right every single time. That's probably a bad way to explain it, but it's a bummer.
Well, I'm going to change the mood and talk about my favorite games that I played during 2020. And I didn't play this on the PS2, but I played it on the Vita, which is digital. But I've been playing...
We have the digital version of the PSP version on the Vita.
There you go. I've been playing Persona 3. I'm going to beat it one day. I'm currently stuck, but I will get past it, and I just love the Persona series. What can I say? Then I got this one for Christmas last year, but played it in 2020. Pokemon Sword. Super fun. Really enjoyed it.
Extremely easy, if anybody's out there wondering. It's a very easy game.
And I think it might be the only Pokemon game that maybe I've ever beat. So, there's that.
I beat the first one and that one, and that's it.
Andy said he didn't like this game as much as I did, but I was really happy to play a game with Andy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You can actually find us playing through it on our YouTube page.
Playing through maybe about 80% of it. You don't unlock the co-op mode until a bit later in the game.
That's true. Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yes. I think the game was fun, but I think recording it makes me think about the bad parts more than the good parts. Because my mind just immediately goes to the sewer level that you have to go to twice. I'm like, man, fuck this.
Yeah, and Andy, I do feel like carried us as far as like skill level, so I just kind of.
And there was a couple of times where I couldn't do anything. You had to do everything. So.
Well, that's true, I guess.
Did not play that in 2020.
Didn't play it in 2020. Are you sure? I must have started it in 2020. Did I start it in 2020?
You had 5 days to play it in 2020.
I'm sure I started it. Story Mod Story, I'm sneaking it in. It's like Stardew Valley mixed with Animal Crossing, mixed with anime. I like it. Got a little farm, shake off a little fruit, pick up some seashells, go fishing, make some friends. I did play this one in 2020 a lot though. So I love Dragon Quest, right? We talked about that before. And I've never been able to get into Minecraft for some reason, but this game combined Dragon Quest with Minecraft, and it was Dragon Quest Builders 2. It's a lot of fun. I still haven't beaten it yet, but I have played it a significant amount of time. And it's really fun. A little more direction than Minecraft. And you go to this island, you do all this stuff, then you leave and you go to this different island. So my first one was like all about farming and stuff, and now the second one's all about mining. So the
Number 2.
My second favorite game that I played last year. I don't have the physical version. Got it digitally, Persona 5 Royal. And I have put about 115 hours into that game. Still haven't beat it. But, it's very stylish. It's very wonderful. This is like my third time trying to get through this game. So, I'm going to make it happen this time. And it has the best soundtrack ever. And then my number 1 pick of 2020 is Animal Crossing.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. I have put maybe 240 hours into this game. I know people that have put way more hours into this game. It just hit at a really good time. You hear that again and again. It came
at the right time.
Right after the pandemic and quarantining. And this was just kind of a fun, happy, easy game to play. And it's wonderful in every way. Not every way, but
Yeah, I could think of some problems with it.
it's pretty great still.
Okay, these are my games of the year. Top 10 for 2020. Number 10 is Ring Fit Adventures.
You originally got that game from me.
Yes, is this game a fun game to play? Probably not, but I think it mixes all the little RPG elements with doing the fitness stuff pretty well. Well enough to be recognized as far as I'm concerned. And I beat this game, so that means I never have to work out again. Fitness is done.
Fitness is never done, Andrew.
Number 9 is Ghost of Tsushima. The art in this game is what makes it stand out the most. The story's kind of blah. The combat and stuff is kind of standard, but the art is fucking amazing. And for an open world game, it's short and sweet. Doesn't wear out its welcome too much, as long as you don't want to try to do everything, which I'm not really that type of person, but
I am.
it's good. If you like cool art, check it out. Number 8 is Time Spinner. Got the Switch version here, physical version. It's a very cool and neat Symphony of the Night clone. A lot of the artwork is very similar. It's a nice short little game. I think it's like 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah.
The only bad part about it to me is I don't think the music's that memorable, and that's one of the reasons I like Symphony of the Night a lot, is the music. So number 7 is not a game I could show you here because I got it digitally, and that is Spiritfarer. Played it on the Xbox Game Pass. It's an indie game where you take control of a little girl who's been tasked with taking people to the afterlife. Your little animal buddies. You take them to the Everdoor, and you have to solve their little problems that they have going on. There's a lot of stuff that you can draw comparisons to, like with Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing, where you have to get to know these people, grow some crops, make them happy, and then...
You think I would like that game?
Yes, I do. Number 6, Trials of Mana, the PS4 here. It is a remake of Seiken Densetsu 3, which did not come out over here originally. It was for the Super Famicom. Just real fun action RPG. I really like the simple graphics that they chose for this. I hope they go even further and remake some old Square RPGs in this style, because it would probably be cheap for them to do it, and be a cheap game too. I think it was only $40 when it launched. So number 5 is a PlayStation 5 game, that is Spider-Man Miles Morales. If you like that other Spider-Man game, you need to play this. It is imperative that you do. It is better than that game in a lot of ways, and it is shorter and more compact. I really, really like it.
And pretty.
Yes, it's very pretty.
Especially if you got that nice TV like we got.
Yes. Number 4 is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I got on the PS4 here. It is the game that I spent my quarantine playing. I didn't have the virus, but we did get some mandatory weeks off from my job, and I just happened to crack open the shrink wrap on this the day before that news came out. So this is what I did that entire time, and I think the new direction Assassin's Creed has gone with Origins, this and Valhalla. This is the best one, I think. Number 3 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, the remasters that came out last year. Just great stuff. Those first 2 Tony Hawk games are great, still great. They did really well with the graphics and everything. Like, it looks straight up like a brand new game. They got all the music tracks that you would want from those old games. Just really, really good stuff.
Nice.
And then number 2 is Astrobot's Rescue Mission. This is not Astrobot. This is not Astro's Playroom, which is on the PS5. This is the VR game that came out a few years ago. I didn't play it until this year, and it was one of those games where I didn't play it too much because I didn't want it to be over, because I knew it was short. Because it was so... this is my favorite VR game, straight up. It a lot of times I felt like I was playing Super Mario 64 for the first time again, just because it's just the stuff you could do with VR and make in a little platformer were just, I don't know, not they weren't breaking any new ground, I guess, but it was just seeing, like, going through tunnels and stuff, and you can, like, look around and everything looks like a little diorama, and you see a little dude running around, and it's really good. I don't think I'm doing it justice by speaking about it, but it's my number 2.
And your number 1?
My number 1 is the Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PS4. I am a Final Fantasy VII fan. I got that game when it came out. I really, really liked it. I've beaten it multiple times. I was very skeptical about this from day one. I didn't think Square was going to do any...
Didn't think they could do it.
Didn't think they could do it at all. I thought it was going to be bad. I hate Midgard, that first part of the Final Fantasy VII. To play an entire game in it, I was like, fuck that. But I'm enough of a fan anyway that I got it when it came out, and they knocked it out of the park. Like, it was pretty incredible what they did with it. The battle system's super fun. The stuff they do with the story, super interesting. I can't wait to play part 2. Whenever that, I mean, it would probably be 5 years from now, who knows. But, yeah. Go out of your way to play the Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's my game of the year for 2020.
I'm playing it now. I like it.
So that's our list. That was fun.
It was fun.
We
got it all out.
Yes, I've been wanting to do this for a couple weeks. Now comes the fun part of editing it.
Yay!
So see y'all guys later.